everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Oh, we're here. Doing the do, being the bee. So, who's been getting cooked? Who's been getting fried? We definitely had a huge influx of solar ray activity coming through. So, I want to thank everyone for being here while we just smudge out the room. So, we've definitely been getting a lot of influxes of heat waves, a lot of solar activity coming through. And I want to talk a little bit about that. It's really been cooking through a lot of density. I actually had an experience the other day where I was in a 15-dimensional chamber for an entire day in the most amount of pain that I've ever been in. There was a lot of struggle narrative that had to clear from my bones, actually. So it hit the hips, it hit the knees, all my lower extremities got eaten up, and as a result, I'm still cooking through all that density that's coming through, that's shifting out. And this morning, I woke up hearing the song "Higher Than High" by Zayd Wolf. And that was just such a key that we really are ascending now. So if you're going through these physical experiences, right, where you're going through the physical ascension, you're going through the upgrades, I want to let you know, just take it slow and easy. Slow and easy is the best thing. Myself included, it's probably the most amount of pain that I've been in. I couldn't walk for a couple days. I was falling down when I got up. I felt really drunk, kind of. And that's because when we experience this much solar activity, we go through magnetic shifts. And as a result, our energy field can feel the wobble, right? And so if you've been going through this, I want to let you know it's completely normal. If you're having detox symptoms, right, like runny nose, feeling sick, vomiting, diarrhea, things like that, completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. But it really was quite an experience to be in this chamber all day and just really cooking through all that struggle narrative. As a result, we're seeing the crystallization of the upgrades now, right? So if you've been tuning in and paying attention to everything that's been going on, and to your downloads, you'll be seeing that there are new pathways that are opening up for ourselves as we're realigning what our miracle journey is, and what our gift of hope is, right? For our new foundations and for our new roles that are coming up. So we've been going through this restructuring and these upgrades for quite some time. Myself included, it really is about crystallizing them and getting up to speed with where I'm at active. And a part of that, of course, as we've been talking about before, is getting the body on gear and getting the body on par. So we are, I got the intel the other day that next week is going to be massive upgrade week for us. So we're going to be looking at DNA repair. We're going to be looking at cleansing. We're going to be looking at dropping a lot of density, dropping a lot of physical weight. Myself included, I've had to just sleep through a lot of it, spending, almost what feels like days in bed, just letting it sleep, letting it ground out, let it really, let the integration take hold and try not to do too much. So when you're in that integrated energy, this is where we call the receptive mode, right? So it's a really good time to not step into the doing state, but step into the being state. And so if there's anything that you want to learn, if there's anything that you want to experience as a part of the intentions that you've been setting, right? It really is a really good time when you're in that receptive mode to just go do that research, right? Because what you're doing is you're soaking up codes. And so as you're soaking up codes, you don't want to be outputting energy. You want to be just taking in. So it's a good time to go online and start doing some research. Like if there's that thing that you wanted to do, or there's that program you wanted to watch, whatever it is, it's a really good time to be receptive to that, because you're also setting momentum for the intentions that you want for your career, your life, whatever it is, whatever that you've been calling forward as an experience for yourself. And so just be mindful, right? If you get caught off guard at all by these solar rays, right, and you need to just rest, just take that time. Your universe is going to support you. We're all getting redirected and realigned through this. And so I'm still burning through a lot of density. Even yesterday I was going to show up and the angels came through and they're like, integration, because a part of my old masculine concept is to push through a lot of this stuff. And that's what we're really breaking down when it comes to being quantum in the pathways and in the alignments. Is there's this old narrative that some of us, still live by at some level, which is like, oh, I'm just going to push through, I'm going to break through, which there's a time and a place to do that. But there's also this moment to just rest and to receive, because it's that reciprocal energy, right? It's like it's give and take, and it's running with the fluid motion of the universal expression and how we align to that universal expression. And so a lot of that, especially when it comes to the struggle narrative, is where we start to get into the internal fight with ourselves, where we want to like push through or we want to get going or whatever. And sometimes it's like, no, you just need to pause and chill. You just need to pause and you need to chill. And so that's a lot of the old conditioning I've had to break through, especially being like a workhorse and a 9 to 5 kind of a guy, right? And that's a little bit of my lineage that I've had to break through, is that I can rest and receive and be supported, right? So, anyway, really some key energetic themes. We're also in a process of really collapsing a lot of old ancestral lines too. And so that's been a really big one, has been really clearing out the epigenetics. To clear the ancestral lines, for some of us, it takes a long time to break through all the programming, all the conditioning, and to clear that bloodline. We hold, it's been stated that we hold 7 generations in the body, right? That we hold 7 generations in the body. And so to clear out all those generations, of all the ick in the goo, it takes a while, right? And as a result, our family gets affected by it too. So myself, there's been a big completion in the ancestral lines, and we're just still running through that, right? Especially when it comes to bigotry and racism. That's been a key one that's been shifting out a lot. And there's a lot of that is constantly shifting, especially when it comes to the divide and conquer, when it comes to colonization. There's a lot of really old pathways that have to shift out, and those narratives just have to keep shifting, right? And so we just keep doing what we can to be able to facilitate that shift, supporting the body, supporting our emotional well-being. Self-love and self-care is really huge right now, guys, especially with these influxes, right? This passageway really caught me off guard, and in a good way, right? Because it gifted me an opportunity to rest, and there is some realities that are collapsing as a result of that. But the upgrades are just feeling so good. The upgrades are feeling good, and what I'm seeing for the future, for myself at least, it feels really nice. It feels really warm and loving and kind. And this morning there was a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope, burning through. A lot of hope burning through. There's also been some lava upgrades, right? So if you work with salamanders, if you are a salamander, or you work with the magma beings, they like to call themselves lava beings. We got charred and cooked last night. I felt like rotisserie chicken last night, and it is quite painful on the body, but the upgrades are really necessary for the solidification, right? I know in Arizona we had a grid upgrade too. And so as the grids are restructuring, there's all these pings in the body that are going through, little pains, little nuances of shifts, feels like little stabs, little pokes, all over the body. When I've been tuning in just to make sure what's going on energetically, it's all the grids being restructured. Okay, so if you live in Arizona, I don't know if the grids are shifting anywhere else because I haven't tuned in, but we are getting big grid upgrades, at least here in Arizona. And so it's been a lot. It's been a lot in the past couple of days. So just to like, stay soft and kind with yourself. Reaching out for support from people, from friends, from relatives is really important. Communicating to people like, hey, I'm going through a massive upgrade. Even myself, right? When my family asked how I was doing, right? And this is a key one I want to mention. When my when I told my family what was going on, they were like, "Do you need to go to a doctor?" I'm like, "No, mom, this is physical ascension symptoms, right?" And a part of advocating what it is to be an ascension guide, right? What it is to advocate what's really going on means that not everything needs to be taken to the doctor, right? That we have a sacred temple, a sacred vessel, which is our light ship, our body. And as our light quotient increases, we drop physical density. And as a result, our physical body goes through a restructuring, goes through an upgrade, right? So it can be painful at times, especially when we're clearing the bone marrow. So all this stuff with the hips, the glutes, the spine, the tailbone, all of that root chakra upgrade was really intense for me. But I had to advocate to my family, no, this is a physical ascension. thing. You know, my body's going through an upgrade process, and as a result, it doesn't require a doctor to get that help. So drinking lots of water through these upgrades, allowing the solar storms to carry you home is really important. There's a lot of really beautiful activations coming through for us, a lot of big DNA upgrades, but once again, it's about integrating everything so we can get the DNA online and rampant on full gear, right? So the physical body has a component to that. When you tune and listen to your body and what your body needs to go through this acceleration, that communication link is going to give you an opportunity to know exactly what you need, right? Because we want to support the silica body and not the carbon-based body. And I have to say this for myself too. Some of the cravings have been really interesting, right? Yesterday I woke up and it was like, I need ice cream. And like I ran to the store, got ice cream and a lot of sugars, right? That has to do a lot with the crystalline DNA coming online. When we go plasma, we might be craving a lot of salts. And some of you might be craving a lot of grounding energies, or some of you a lot of smoothies, a lot of like fruits and vegetables. I really invite you to listen to your intuition and to not follow a new age strategy or a new age agenda, right? Because your body, your physical vessel knows exactly what it needs to be supported on the journey home, right? And as long as you treat everything as sacred when it comes to what you are eating and consuming in your body, you're going to gift yourself a whole new level of magic in your form with what you're ingesting, right? So it doesn't mean that not everything is quote unquote bad, right? But if you turn that meal into a sacred meal and you turn it into a sacred ceremony, it changes the structure of what you are doing and what you're having to take. I've seen this happen for a lot of people where they judge themselves because they want meat, or that they need to go out and get some junk food or something. I had a moment the other day where my inner child was screaming for McDonald's, screaming for McDonald's. And I was like, you know what? And I had about 2 weeks where I was like on the edge. I was like, do I go get McDonald's? Do I go get McDonald's? And so I did it. And I turned it into a sacred ceremony. And my inner child got so happy. He's like, okay, now we're going to Walmart. You're getting me a blanket. We're getting coloring books. And I spent a day with my inner child. And it was the most beautiful day I had in a while, right? And it started off with, yeah, I've got coffee, actually, yeah, coffee. It started off with doing that McDonald's trip. And I am not an advocate for McDonald's and what they do and how they farm and everything like that, but it was something my child needed. And that's because it was a nodal point on the trajectory, right? Because salience, right? Our olfactory senses mark within us a memory, right? So if we've been disconnected from a version of ourselves, we have nodal points in our life path that will help us to remember. So we look at our senses, right? So think about this, like imagine going to the store and you smell a scent and it reminds you of your mom, or you smell tobacco and it reminds you of your grandpa, right? That's a nodal point on your trajectory that activates a memory. And sometimes when we've been disconnected from a version of self, especially when it comes to the inner child, sometimes to activate the memory of what it is to be with the divine child, to be with our inner child, requires us to activate our olfactory senses, or our sensory tank within our body, to be able to gift us the opportunity to remember what it is to be within that essence. And so for me, it's been one of those things where, going and getting a chicken McNugget meal helps me to remember what it is to be within that space, because I have an epigenetic memory from those times of childhood with McDonald's, right? So it doesn't mean that I always do that, right? But sometimes when I really need to revive that connection point, I turn back into that nodal point or that memory within my cellular, revive that essence from within myself. And it helps me with my future aspects and helps me a lot with being able to ground and stabilize into these new versions of Corey that show up. Because a lot of it does require us to have the child online, especially as we're activating our powers, we're activating all of these different archetypes, right? It's the return to child, it's the return to innocence, it's the return to essence that's really important. Okay. So just a little update. Yesterday we reached KP4. Today I saw that we will be getting up to KP5. So those heat influxes in your body, if you feel like you're spinning out, if you feel wobbly or you feel like kind of drunk, just take it slow and easy. I've been having to do this too, just taking it really slow. If you can see, my eyes look really, really tired. No, I'm not under the influence of any substance. It's just kind of the energy that we're in right now, right? As we go through these integrations and we go through this upgrade and we go through this expansion, right? So anyways, let me check the chat really quick. Yeah, chocolate and peanut butter, key one. Yep, it's like we've been running a spiritual marathon. So, yeah, the jumpers, you know, I got some leg upgrades the other day, and it's a version of me that runs timelines and runs in the quantum realms, and that's the other reason why I was dealing with so much hip stuff. And so, yeah, it does feel like we're running a spiritual marathon, but that's the acceleration point, right? And the thing is, for all of us right now, it's really important to start getting through to what this next upgrade is. So yesterday I did a reading, but I didn't post it. And it was basically talking about that we're at a lily pad right now. So we're at a choice point in this kind of like acceleration to the next jump or the next leap, where we have to start shedding some layers of self, shedding some ideology, and really start making those plans for what our future goals are, right? And you know, guys, freedom, free will, autonomy, and sovereignty, you don't have to do these things, but it makes our life easier because this is where we start to step into evolution and we start ending the Groundhog's Day, right? So anyone that's been kind of like looping in the same scenario over and over again, when we start to break through, we have to make different choices and different decisions for ourselves, especially in regards to, you know, career, showing up, things like that. And a lot of the theme yesterday was like, guys, it's really time for us to get to the next stage of what we want to create, because we have it crystallized, we have it anchored, and we have it available to us to step into what this new aspect of ourselves is, the new creations, things like that. I've been getting a lot of downloads of different things to be doing, and this is what I want to state too, guys, when it comes to the wands. Okay, um, I am going to be starting a list of people that want wands. So if you want a grid working wand or you want a shamanism tool, let me know. I will have a list available, and what I'm going to start doing is start going out and hand picking pieces from people for people, and then the light codes that are posted on the wand that are given to the wand are going to be specific for you. So I'll be working with your universe, and working with your guides to activate the wand for whatever you need it for. And so if you are interested in a wand, please let me know. foundersoflight@gmail.com. I also have a contact sheet on foundersoflight.org, where you can contact me. And basically what I'll do is start getting a waiting list for wands so we can start getting those ready and prepared. It will take a couple of weeks to get them fully done, to get all of them done, but we are getting for that. Right now I'm just in the process of having to repair some transportation stuff. You know, it's not always an easy journey. I've got some fuel line upgrades I need to do on my car. So and then we're gonna start going out working with Pachamama to collect the wood for the wands. And a part of that process is a portion of the proceeds is going to go to humanitarian efforts that are for nature preservation. So since Gaia is gifting me the opportunity to receive the sticks from various sites and to receive the branches, by the way, I'm not picking off of trees, so I'm picking up from what has already fallen. And I'm always working in coordination with Gaia, but as a result, a portion of the proceeds will be going back to planting trees and nature preservation work, because I think it's important that if Gaia is gifting us the opportunity to work with her elemental structures to create for the world, that we also gift back to her as well. So that's that. I actually have one of the wands here. So this is one that I'm working with right now. And so this is essentially kind of what they're going to be looking like. So this is like a big boundary stick that I work with, and so we'll be carving light codes in them, but they're going to be unique to you. So if you want to get on the waiting list, please reach out to me, foundersoflight@gmail.com, or you can go to the contact form on foundersoflight.org. We also have other projects that are opening up, but I'm not going to get into those right now because they're still there. We don't want to count the eggs before they hatch, right? Count the eggs before they hatch. So we are going to do a thank you. We're going to do a reading for the weekend. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the physical and the energetic for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then advice for each day. Okay, so this is just a really quick little reading to just kind of see what's going on for our weekend, to set ourselves up for success and to set ourselves up for the miracles that are coming forward for us. So let's go ahead and get going. So what do we have coming up for the weekend? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, physical, energy, and advice for the day. go. Cool. Nice. Alrighty. Nice. Cool. All right. So, so for today, physical Page of Wands, energetic Four of Swords. So we are looking at, once again, when I was talking about that receptive space of learning, it's recognizing that we're on a new pathway of mastery, right? So the page is on the journey to the king here. So we're in a space of learning in the physical in the physical, and in the energetic, we're in a place of rest and of receiving. So today's very much so about recognizing that we're in a process of learning new skills, new gifts, new abilities. This is kind of allowing ourselves to be taught by the universal expression on how we navigate our ascension. And in the energetic, we're seeing that we are in a place of rest. So today might be just a good day to just be with self and to be at peace with self. As a result, the advice is with Seven of Pentacles is learning about your abundance, learning about your harvest, what you need to be able to create more sustainability in your life. So we're looking at the harvest here. So a part of this is the advice as you're going through this. Maybe it might be learning about a new money routine, learning about resources, how you can gather the resources for that new project or that new thing you want to do. So if there is some form of wish fulfillment that you've been calling forward, it might be a good time to start looking at the research and reviewing your creation. So kind of take a moment to step back and to rest and to receive, but also take that moment to look at your grounded, practical plan moving forward, okay? So tomorrow for Saturday, physical, we're looking at Queen of Wands. Energetically, we're looking at Knight of Swords. So we're looking at the energy of the Earth Goddess. So this might be a time for you to get out into nature, to connect deeper with nature, especially when we were talking about the wands, connecting with the trees, stepping into that crone energy. But we are looking at an acceleration, right? So there is going to be some sort of crone energy that we're going to be stepping into, that courage, that bravery with the Queen of Wands here, and an acceleration cycle that's coming through. So this is a very quick moving energy. So whatever's coming through tomorrow is going to be an acceleration of this aspect of ourselves coming forward and through. The advice to Pentacles is look at your belief systems and look at your thoughts, right? So a part of this is going to be that when we're starting out on this new journey and this new venture moving forward, how do our belief systems create and shift our reality, right? So it's going to be very much so about tuning into how our belief systems have created certain versions of our reality, and recognizing that through this acceleration, we might need to be upgrading our belief systems, okay? We might need to be upgrading our belief systems. So this is about observation of thought, and recognizing that the star, the key that you hold, has a purpose on the pathway, right? So taking this key, taking this star code, taking this download, and saying, how can I work with this moving forward? Especially with the Queen of Wands energy, right? When we're looking at this Earth Goddess energy and the acceleration of her coming online more and more for us, is how can we take what we know deep within from us being the crone, from being with this aspect of self, and how can we apply it in our day-to-day and into our routine moving forward? So there might be some belief systems in regards to magic, in regards to the crone, in regards to the warlock, the witch, however it is that you want to call this or frame it into your reality. There might be societal conditioning that's getting in the way. Either way, it's really time for this aspect of ourselves to rise, because there's nothing wrong with it, right? So so it's one of those really beautiful versions of ourselves that we get to work with. Either way, this could be the grid worker, right? So the too, usually, lately the Earth Goddess has been showing up as the grid worker, right? So as a result, you might want to go out into the park, you might want to go to the reservation, you might want to go to the sacred site and connect with the trees, because there might be something there for you, a download to receive. And as a result, this might help you to receive whatever download it is moving forward of what you can do to carry on this new adventure. Recognizing that the adventure of the Earth Goddess, the adventure of these different archetypes that we activate within ourselves, it gives us an entire journey. Yes, there are mountains on this journey. There's hills to climb. There's things that we got to do. Experience gives us the peaks and troughs of ascension, the peaks and troughs of life. It gives us experience. But either way, the download that you're receiving moving forward, how can you carry it forward into your adventure, and how can you carve out that pathway or that new routine in regards to this, especially when it comes to shifting your belief systems with being an Earth Goddess, okay? Then on Sunday, we're seeing Six of Pentacles in the physical, energetic, Cups, right? So we are looking at, sometimes this can come up as the soul retrieval card, right? So there might be a version of ourselves on Sunday that is coming back to us, and in the energy, we're holding that immovable object of love. The King of Cups is the most loving masculine in the deck, right? It is the most loving masculine. It is that of the water, and it sits firm on its stone with the waves behind it. This is the immovable object of love, or the immutable object of love, right? So as a result, this also can speak of charity, right? So on Sunday in the physical, you might be feeling like you need to give a little bit more, or you need to receive a little bit more. There's something that's coming into balance because we have the scales of balance here. This might be a day of feeling very charitable, especially with the acceleration of whatever download this is. This might be a day to feel very charitable. So in one level, in one aspect, it does feel like some of us are getting versions of us back, but we're going to be holding a whole lot of love to be able to receive whatever versions of this are. So there is some sort of spiritual charity, some spiritual abundance that is coming back to us because we're choosing to sit on the throne of love. Now, the advice, though, is really about balancing polarity, right? So especially when it comes to the King of Cups here, is that there is something that needs to come into balance. So it's going to be a day of just maintaining and sustaining balance. So yes, the Two of Pentacles can sometimes speak of decision. It can speak of making a choice. Either way, right now, I'm very much so seeing this as a day of balance, of a day of balancing polarities, especially when it comes to the integration of whatever spiritual abundance is coming back for us in regards to this energy that we're sitting in. So whatever it is, we're standing in this throne of love, receiving back our spiritual abundance, whatever it is. This could be fire codes, it could be soul pieces, it could be activations, and either way, it's going to be a day of maintaining and sustaining balance for ourselves, okay? So it's just going to be a day of balancing. Either way, the weekend ahead looks very, very good. This looks very, very, very promising for us. I'm really excited to see how this weekend goes for us, and to see how these activations, and how we do with the balancing of the polarities and the balancing of the trajectories moving forward, because we have a lot opening up for us. We have a lot opening up for us right now, and there are endless and infinite possibilities. Even myself, I've been queuing into a lot of different trajectories and pathways that are open for us, and man, it's just like infinite expression, infinite abundance, infinite prosperity, infinite love, infinite potential. But we have to step forward into that with grace, with honor, and with sacred respect and integrity at a soul level, right? Because the soul compromise can be felt. The soul compromise can be felt. But the more that you really step forward into who you are and allow the learning to carry you into your next level for yourself, the more that we are going to start to unlock what it is that we're here to receive in this lifetime. And it's going to be different for every individual. There's been such a big key code coming up for me about the miracle pathway, and to recognize that all of our creations are designed specifically to our unique essence, our unique blueprint, and what we're calling forward as an experience for ourselves. So one might look one way, one might look another way. Either way, all of them serve the highest, and all of them serve the soul's expression, right? And all of them serve the law of one mission. And the more that we surrender to the fact that everyone's pathway and everyone's learning might look different, the more that we're going to exercise these new belief systems to allow ourselves to rearrange in accordance to be free of judgment, free of ridicule, free of abandonment, free of all of these shame and guilt and torment that a lot of the old structures and the old religions and the old versions and the old visions held, right? So there's a lot of newness showing up for us, but we have to be able to step forward into that newness and allow ourselves to hold enough self-respect and sacred honor for self and others to allow ourselves to have our individuated pathway, right? To let ourselves have our own individuated pathway. So anyways, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're gonna close this reading out now. So how are we all feeling? Oh, how are we all feeling? How we doing? Let me check here. Awesome. Nice. Very good. Very good. Very, very, very good. Good. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Yeah, the bird songs are amazing. The birds are really loud today in a beautiful way. Really, really hopeful and really holding a lot of hope for us. So, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscribes. If you'd like to book a one-on-one session, please go to foundersoflight.org. I am opening up for donation sessions too. So, like, if you do want a session, um, I'll be doing donation sessions for tarot readings. I won't be doing energy work. So I have all different kinds of energy work that I do. I do on my on foundersoflight.org. So if you go look over there, I have a whole list of sessions and of different guidance sessions as well. Um, if you can't afford it but you need a session, please reach out. We'll work something out. Right? We'll work something out. Patreon. Patreon. We're really working on building some really cool pathways for ourselves, right? So we're over on Patreon, we're working with a lot of miracle and hope codes to really activate our own unique pathway and our own unique soul essence and working with sacred ceremony. So we're doing a lot of clearings, we're doing a lot of ceremony on Tuesdays. Um, and so if you want to join us over on Patreon, the link is in the description box. If you'd like to donate, links are in the description box. It's always welcome and always necessary. It helps me to be able to stay afloat, and it's very much so. It's very special. It's very special to me. Things. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Nope. I think we're done here. I think we're done, guys. So as always, thank you. The wands list. The wands list. When I get the computer up and running, I will actually create a formal list on my website. So you can actually go to foundersoflight.org and you can sign up if you would like to purchase a wand or a ceremonial tool. We're going to be working with a few different projects as well. So I'm just waiting for things to align to be able to get those projects done and aligned for self. I also have some bracelets for sale too. So if you guys are interested in a bracelet, I'll be posting the bracelets on the YouTube channel. I have 3 bracelets available. And those proceeds are going back to just getting more gear so we can start making more bracelets. This is actually this is a bracelet that I made for myself. This is a Merlin bracelet. And so we're working with programming the bracelets in different ways and activating them for whatever we need in our unique expression. So I have a lunar goddess bracelet that is helping us to heal the lunar lines. I also have a divine child bracelet that's available that helps us to heal our divine child and to really activate the divine innocence. And then I have a rainbow band bracelet that's going to be working with your chakra system and working with rainbow energy to anchor the rainbows. And so I will post pictures of those on the community page. Those will be up for sale and I'll be shipping them out this week if you'd like to purchase one. And then we've got so many more designs and pathways and plans opening up. I mean, it's just trying to really rearrange everything through the ascension cycle and being able to gather all the resources to bring these new projects forward and to bring these new energy tools forward, right? So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you again for showing up. Thank you for being here. So we're just going to formally close down this sacred ceremony. Bring up blessings, gratitude, and hope for our future and for you. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys next week sometime. All right. Namaste.